Dave, let's go out to the hotline. Say hello to our friend, Coach Steve Fisher, back on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. Coach, thanks for the time. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. How are you guys?
Doing great, thanks. Hey, Coach, if we would have talked to you a week ago, how many of the games when San Antonio was up 2-0, and I would have asked you at that time, how many of these next 5 games can Oklahoma City win? What do you think your answer would have been?
Probably different than most because I'm in the business, and I know that what happened yesterday has a little bit, but no direct bearing on what's going to happen when you tip it up on that next one. So I don't think in the world of sports anything can surprise you, and Oklahoma City is a terrific basketball team. Everybody has known that all season long, and the Spurs had been on such a rush and roll. They had won 20 games or whatever it was that they had won in a row, best record in the NBA. But Oklahoma City was not far behind. So for me to say I'm shocked, no. Yeah, I thought I was hoping, as a lot of us were, that San Antonio would win, and in particular because of Kawhi.
You know, Coach, when you look at Kevin Durant and the Thunder and how well he's playing, I mean, he has 3 scoring titles already. I think most people in San Diego, their first look at Kevin Durant was here when he was playing the McDonald's All-American game as a high school player. You, as a guy that's a recruiter, you've probably been watching this guy for years and years. Has he become a better player than you even expected?
Kevin Durant is as good as there is right now. He is absolutely sensational. And I think you can go back again. I remember when he came out after his freshman year, and they go through all these tests that they have all the rookies do.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant, when he came into the league, they made a huge deal out of the fact that he was the weakest guy they had. He could only bench press X number of pounds, and I think most of us also laughed at that too. So we all said, yeah, he's got to get stronger, but that has no bearing on how good a basketball player he is. He is absolutely sensational.
Coach, did you think that game was over last night at halftime?
I'm going to be real honest with you. I was on a plane. We were on a trip to Hawaii, and we were leaving Lanai before the game started, and I jumped on another plane. I didn't see 1 second of the game.
Well, honesty counts. It's Coach Steve Fisher joins us on XX 1090.
Coach, do you talk to any of your former players when they were in college, as far as now that they're in the NBA, during the season at all?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry.
Do you talk to any of your former players that are now in the NBA while a season is going on?
No, I did not. I do have conversations on and off with a lot of our former players, but I didn't talk to anybody while the playoffs was going on. We watched from a distance and cheered for our guys. We still have the second oldest player, I think, now in the NBA, Juwan Howard, is still playing for the Miami Heat, and he might be suiting it up for the last game tonight also.
Talking to head coach Steve Fisher, we're Dave and Jeff. It's XX 1090. Coach, what do you think happens tonight in the East with Boston at home against Miami? Can they close it out, or do you expect a Game 7?
I'm going to watch, and I'll watch with interest. I think that obviously home court's huge, but Boston won one in Miami, and I have no idea. Boston has got the group of guys that say, well, they're too old, but Rondo has been playing like you could put him in the top of the rung on the big three, which is now the big four. So I don't know. I think it'll be a great game.
We're speaking with Steve Fisher right here on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. This is the Dave and Jeff Show. Coach, you've had a chance to coach at the NBA level, also, of course, coaching most of your time in college basketball. What's the biggest difference as far as coaching professionals?
Well, the biggest difference in terms from a coaching perspective is it is 100% basketball. From the head coach on down, the responsibilities that they have are almost exclusively basketball. In college, as you know, there are so many different hats that you wear, from a recruiter to a counselor to an academic coordinator to everything that goes on. So from that standpoint, basketball is nothing but basketball at the NBA level. I'll be honest with you. I had a great 1 year there, but I've spent 25 years, 30 years in college basketball. So I think I'm where I belong, but both of them. For people that say they don't get taught, all they do is play, could not be further from the truth in the NBA. And I think if you watch closely these NBA teams, they don't all do the same thing. There is instruction. There is discipline. There are, and the good teams, they're filled with professionals.
Coach, I remember an interview that you did last year right after Kawhi Leonard was drafted, and you said, in your opinion, you felt he went to the perfect scenario to go and play for a guy like Greg Popovich and that Spurs team. And, boy, Greg Popovich put him out on the biggest stage, and Kawhi sure performed. Did any part of his performance, his ability to make the transition from the college game to the pro game as smooth as he did any part of that surprise you?
Nothing surprises me about Kawhi, and I said this repeatedly. He's as hard a worker away from the coaches as any player I've ever dealt with. He is, if you say, what's a gym rat, you could say dash Kawhi Leonard. He is always in the gym. He has no ego. He's smart enough to know that when people say these are areas you need improvement in, these are areas you're not very good at, that he's going to be determined to get better. What he did, and everybody saw this, he's turned himself into a pretty good shooter. They ran him to the corner and spotted him up, and when Parker or Ginobili or one of those guys would penetrate and kick it, Kawhi was more than capable. He made open shots, and all the other things he had done for us, and I knew that he could do. I was a little surprised that as a rookie, they would have him guarding the premier perimeter player on the other team as often as he did. But he's long, he's athletic, and he will be a terrific pro. Need to stay healthy, which you have to have a little bit of good fortune on that. But Kawhi has made all of us proud. And the nice thing about it, when they would talk about Kawhi Leonard, almost invariably right behind that would be played at San Diego State. So it's good for all of us. We are extremely proud and excited to watch as his career continues to unfold.
We're talking with Steve Fisher right here on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. This is the Dave and Jeff Show. Coach, you've had the opportunity to coach a lot of superstars. Who's the best player you've ever coached?
Don't even ask me that. I wouldn't even begin to try to tell you. If I said one, I would offend 21. I've had the privilege to coach a lot of really, really good players. I had, as you all know, the number one player in the draft when we had Chris Webber. But we had a lot of good players that had distinguished all-star NBA careers, that had fabulous college careers, both at San Diego State and now I'm proud to say, or at Michigan, and I'm proud to say at San Diego State. So the ones that are on the radar right now are the ones that are still playing, and Kawhi is the one that's playing and will be playing for a long, long time.
All right, Coach, there are 3 teams left. It's Oklahoma City and yet to be determined out of the East, Miami and Boston. If you had to make a choice right now at the end of the year, who's holding up that championship trophy?
I don't have a clue. I don't do that. I'm not a guy that does that. To be honest, I'm hoping that and most people are that are not passionately rooting for Miami or rooting against them. But I've got Juwan Howard playing for Miami, so I hope Miami wins. I hope Miami wins today, and I'd love to see Juwan Howard get a ring, even though he plays sparingly. But nothing would surprise me. The fact that it's a 6th game and the Celtics are up, I would not have said I thought that would happen, but it doesn't really surprise me. And to see Miami win 2 in a row and then win 4 in a row in the finals wouldn't surprise me either. It would. You'd say, boy, I can't believe they did it, but these are 3 terrifically talented, well-coached teams that I think it'll drive the ratings, and it will keep a lot of us that love basketball watching.
Now, Coach, it's the early part of June, yet we can't wait for Aztec basketball season to begin. When those new guys come in, what's the first thing you teach those guys?
What's the first thing we'll do?
Yes.
Well, we've got all our returnees and Winston Shepard, who finished high school over in Vegas at Finley Prep early. They're all here now. So they're all working, doing things now to get better. When the other kids come in second session of summer school, we will acclimate them the same way. And their job is the job of the new guys will be to get a little bit of a flavor for how it's done at San Diego State, because they're not sure. So that's why veteran leadership is important. That's why guys that act as if that weight room is fun to go into is important. So I'm anxious to see how they'll blend in. We have, as everybody knows, 6 new players that all think they're going to play. We've got a lot of guys coming back that are all expecting to play. So competition will be intense, and that'll be fun to watch too. But I know that we've got good players who are good people, so we're very excited about the future for San Diego State basketball.
As are all the fans. Coach, as always, Dave and I can't thank you enough for the time. Always nice to talk to you. We look forward to doing it again.
Thanks, Chef. Dave.
You got it, Coach.
Being on with you guys.
Take care. That's head coach Steve Fisher.